What's up, guys? How are you tonight? Midnight stream, midnight hangout with me, Danny tonight. Um, Jess ain't here. Jess is actually on her way home from New York. She's actually on the bus right now. I don't know if she'll be watching us or not if she gets served. But thank you all for joining us here tonight. And what do we have here tonight? Rachel, what's going on? Rachel, I got to say thank you for convincing me to go on tonight. I appreciate it. We have Rock and Robin in chat. How are you? Michael Riley, what's going on? How are you tonight, buddy? Yeah, I guess everybody's been week with Disney Plus and everything else going on YouTube and all that fun. What are you guys up to? Let me know what's going on with you guys, because I would love to know. It's been weird for me without Jess around. I'll tell you that much. 100% weird. Anybody else here? Is anyone here at all? I guess a little bit, yeah, rocking. Jonathan, what's going on? Jonathan, building a model railroad right now. That is so awesome. What kind of railroad are you building, Jonathan? Um, N scales or something like that? I used to actually do those when I was younger. We used to do the HO scale, and we used to have so much fun with that. Actually, we had it. Oh, European. That's awesome. The HL scale one I had was actually a pool table. Oh, and HO, yeah. And HO. I love that. That's awesome. All the detail into the buildings and everything. And so the one we had was awesome because it was on top of an old pool table. And we made it, my father and I, we made it into a whole city with working street lamps. The buildings had lights in them. Somebody, Rachel, what's up? Yeah, we had street lights. We had little matchbox cars and stuff. Oh, look who this guys. What's up, Ben?
Hey, Danny.
How
Can
are
you hear me
you?
all right?
I hear.
Okay, great.
Awesome.
Doing okay. Just I'm. Let me hold on. I've not done any streaming from this position before, so I'm still trying to okay, let's.
It's okay.
Oh my gosh.
It's okay with me. I haven't done a midnight without Jess before, so it's okay.
That's fair. Let's see who is on with us. Noah. Hey,
Rachel.
Jonathan. Rachel, good to see you.
Nathan.
Nathan. And Rock and Robin, always nice to see you too.
Exactly. We have 9 people on with us right now, so we're
Nice.
pretty good.
Excellent.
So you guys at the villa.
Well,
I see that tree is turning nicely.
Yeah, this is our crystal tree. Let me show you here. You know, maybe I should just do the stream like this. That's actually really pretty.
That you had. It really is.
Look at that. Oh my
That is so
gosh,
cool.
that's beautiful.
You are definitely doing that tree some justice.
Yeah,
Hey,
that
Chills,
is the village
Max,
tree.
is
If
that
you look
the?
right here, there's a Mickey Mouse icicle.
I see it.
This one right here, spinning
That is
around.
so cool.
This is just
That is
one
awesome.
of this tree is just one of 3 trees that's going to be here in the family room of Pepper Tree Villa. This tree is a 7.5-foot Balsam Hill Berkshire Mountain fir. And
What's the picture
it's
of behind you?
that is Phantom Manor at Disneyland Paris.
Okay.
Let me show you here. This behind me here
I
is a
love that
map.
map.
Yeah.
Love it.
This one was acquired by Arnie back in 1994. So we've
Okay.
had it almost 25 years. It's actually signed by Sam McKim. Sam McKim was
wow.
doing a signing at Disneyland on December 10th, 1994. We were there at the park when that happened, and Arnie wanted to get a map. So
Mm-hmm.
he stood in line. We got to chat with Sam McKim. He signed it right here.
Okay.
And we rolled it up, put it in a tube, and Arnie didn't take it out of the tube for about 6 months or so that it stayed in a tube until we had the right kind of framing in mind for it. And it's been framed like this now for about 23, 24 years.
Something
And
like that definitely needs a frame.
Yeah, this has hung in, I think this is its 3rd wall. It hung in an apartment in Southern California, and it also hung at my house in Oakland for a while, and then it came to rest nicely here on this wall at Pepper Tree Villa. Brian, welcome to the chat, and glad to hear that you used to work at Disneyland. But yeah.
The reason I was asking about the photo, because I love the reflection of the tree in that photo. It just gives it like magical feel to it, like pixie dust all in it. Yeah. So speaking of pixie dust, what have you guys been watching on?
Well, just before I jumped in the shower, I was watching an episode of Even Stevens.
Oh, really?
It's one of my favorite shows from the Disney Channel. I still remember a Thanksgiving. There was a Thanksgiving weekend back in the late 90s or early 2000s where I was decorating our house with my family, and we were binging on a marathon of Even Stevens hosted by Twitty and Bean.
Okay. I vaguely remember that one. Yes.
That just stands out. But no, we're in a final push this weekend to try and finish decorating the villa. Like I said, this
is it in every final push?
Well, no. This weekend is actually the true final push. We want to try and get everything done, because as soon as the trees are up in place, we can start focusing on what we want to do with our Vlogmas videos.
Okay.
Because that will free up a lot of time on weekends and in evenings where we can just focus on providing content. Because Arnie is dead set on trying to get something pushed out every single day other than live streaming for Vlogmas.
Right.
And we Beans on Even Stevens. I love Twitty and Beans. Beans was hilarious. One thing about pushing everything here is that we've got 2 more trees to decorate in here before we're completed with the family room. We have a 9-foot pencil tree over here on my left, which is going to be our gingerbread and peppermint tree. Arnie was unboxing those ornaments earlier this week on a live stream.
Okay.
And then over here, beyond the sofa on my right, there will be a 9-foot tree that is similar to this tree right here on my right here, only instead of 7.5 feet, it's actually 9 feet tall. We have 9-foot ceilings here in the house.
Okay. I actually had an apartment. When we were up in New York, our apartment had 12-foot ceilings.
Oh, that's a beautiful thing.
For an apartment, yeah. It just was a pain trying to change the light bulb.
Yeah, that's when you've got to get an extended ladder.
Yeah,
and it's hard. It's hard to have extended ladders. Excuse me, when you live in an apartment.
Yeah, it really is. I had to borrow it from work just to bring it home to change the light bulb.
Okay, let's do a chat check here. I see Mike Wheeler's popped in. He's talking about.
Oh, now we're in trouble. Mike's here. He's talking about bacon.
Is he?
He goes, yeah.
Oh. All right, Mike.
We're not even going to touch it.
No, we're good. But it's been a busy weekend. Today I had we had a family gathering that I had to attend. It was a reception for my nephew's wedding that was held last month, and we had about 130 to 150 people there. I mean, it's just nonstop visiting with people. I'm exhausted.
I can imagine.
But
all those people,
Arnie and Doug.
Hi, how are you? I know. That's why I'm glad I live in Georgia. Everything. Like, it's good and bad.
Yeah, you miss your family, but I mean, if you're around family, they expect a lot.
Exactly. That's why, like, right now, Jess is on her way back from actually on a bus right now, heading back down. She probably somewhere in Maryland or Virginia or something right now, probably.
Oh, bless her heart. Will she be back tomorrow morning?
It's cheaper than flying. Yeah, she gets in around noon, like 12:30. So
okay, cool.
The dog and I get to go and get. I told Leia that she's coming home, and Leia's just running around the apartment and going nuts.
Oh, look at that. Yeah. Chills TV has been watching Even Stevens and Lizzie McGuire and The Simpsons. Very nice.
So I've been watching. Of course, I had to watch The Mandalorian.
I haven't seen it yet.
You need to see it.
Yeah, I know. Look, this week, I have been trying to see what I have time for, because when you do, you know what it's like to do edited videos. It sucks up your time like crazy. Create the content.
I have a video sitting behind my. I was waiting for me to still finish up, and with Disney Plus came out. I was working on the video when Disney Plus came out, and I normally pretty quick, but Disney Plus came out, and I'm sitting here with the remote, and I'm like, okay, what do I do? And time the video just sat there 2 right now, and I'm hoping to get it out sometime tonight. But
okay, so we've got Noah, who has seen both episodes of The Mandalorian, Chills TV, who has not watched it yet. I haven't watched it yet. And then we've got Jonathan Chong, who says he's been watching Simpsons from day one.
That's you guys that are watching The Simpsons have some dedication, because those are long seasons and a lot of seasons.
Well, yeah, they posted the 30 seasons that are completely in the can on Disney Plus. What I read though is that in early 2020, we're going to get a re-edited or reformatted version of The Simpsons on the streaming service, where they're going to restore it to its original aspect that was broadcasted on
Oh wow!
television, instead of bringing it forward, and you lose about a third of what they produced. The original animation that isn't formatted for HDTV does not flow as well on high definition television, and when you focus it even closer in, it looks even worse. So
Yeah,
I think they're doing it. They're doing The Simpsons justice by just reformatting and presenting it in its original aspect. But that when they actually do that, I'll start watching it. I am a fan of The Simpsons, especially the first 10 seasons.
yeah.
They
And I
had
heard
some
we only
true
lost.
gems.
Yeah, they get into some really controversial things too, and their own spin, but it's all right.
Yeah,
It's all right.
they never shied away from a topic that they didn't feel that they could cover well.
The tree.
Yeah. See, now people can see me and the tree. Let's see. That's
Exactly.
that's
There we go.
better.
That's a lot better.
Yeah. Besides, the tree's
That
more interesting than
Mandalorian
I
had.
am right now.
No, I wouldn't say that, Ben. But the Mandalorian had my jaw on. People in chat are basically saying the same thing I see right now. Um, it's a great show, Ben. You got to watch that. I've been watching, as you guys, probably original cartoons.
Mm-hmm.
I think the first thing I actually binge watched was Darkwing Duck.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I had to. It was there. I had to do it. I'm
Well,
containing myself to wait to watch the Gummy Bears, but she'll be home tomorrow, so I get to watch them tomorrow.
nice.
But yeah,
Yeah, I missed the train on the Disney afternoon because it wasn't targeted at my
mm-hmm.
age range. It was targeted at my niece and nephew, and they're thrilled that they're going to be able to watch them when they're ever available. But
Yeah.
my niece right now is 6 months pregnant and more focused on making sure that her 6-year-old gets fed and is taken to school and all that. So
Chills. I'm right there with you, man. That was the first thing I did.
Noah, thank you for sending
But
that out. Hey, Michael, how are you?
hey, Michael.
Michael asked a question if I'm still at Arnie and Doug's house. I actually have my own house about 30 miles away, and Arnie and Doug are out here in the East Contra Costa County, and I'm actually visiting their house. Arnie, they're not here right now. They had a different thing to attend today other than the family. An emergency thing came up that they had to attend and represent all of us. But because someone still had to go to the family reception, I stayed behind and helped out. And I did a lot of setup, a lot of hosting, and I was responsible for taking all the pictures, which my sister was very appreciative of because she was too busy setting up and making sure that people were taken care of.
Joe asked a good question here too, because next thing I try to get into, but I don't know. He said he couldn't find Tailspin on there.
Yeah, Tailspin is there. you have to do a search for it, but if you're going to find it, you have to spell it correctly. It's TALESPIN. And if you do a search for it, you'll find it.
For blue, you might find it too.
That's true. That's a good point.
But
it's a really cool interface. They make it really easy
it's
to try
very
and find
user friendly, and I really like it. It's very smooth.
Yeah. And I bought into the month-to-month thing because invariably, sometime in the near future, they will probably come up with some bundle that I really like. I'm not pleased with anything that I've seen so far because I know when they're offering Hulu and ESPN Plus with Disney Plus, the Hulu, from what I understand, is the commercial version of Hulu. If I'm going to
That's what I was just going to say too.
Yeah.
Was
if I'm going to spend money,
I'm a Hulu user.
Oh,
but
me too.
I have commercial-free Hulu, and my TV is through Hulu. So because of that, I couldn't add Disney Plus Hulu.
Yeah.
Why? You know? So
yeah, it just has, I think what they're trying to do is just building their audience at a price point that they feel is fair. And once they do that and figure out who's going to buy in and getting feedback from those who haven't bought in yet, finding out why, then they'll alter some of the bundles. I'm almost positive of that. It'll give them a few weeks to get through all the numbers and all that. But I really look for them to come up with a bundle that will make everybody happy at a sensible price point. I would pay $19.99 a month for Hulu and Disney Plus and ESPN Plus, as long as Hulu is commercial free.
Exactly.
I would be okay with that.
Exactly. Because realistically, you need commercial-free Hulu.
Yeah, when you've got services like HBO that's going to launch for about $14.99 a month, I mean, I'm not a fan of the whole HBO environment or their content. I've never felt compelled to subscribe to their pay service. And I cannot justify getting their pay service for one television show. I know a lot of people were buying into it for Game of Thrones and would justify whatever they did beyond that, but that's not me. I'm not a Game of Thrones person.
Yeah, we did it for Game of Thrones, and then as soon as Game of Thrones ended, we got rid of it. But it was also a Hulu add-on that we did it too.
Okay. I just got a tweet on my watch from Rob Fuzz. He says it's so cold and it's 30 degrees colder at home.
That's right. He's in Florida right now.
He's in Florida this weekend for a wedding.
Yeah, I've been hearing a lot of people say that it's so cold in Florida.
A friend of mine lives in Tampa. I was just on the phone with him earlier this evening, and he's really happy because this coming Wednesday is his birthday. And he found out that the weather forecast is going to be cool, which will allow him to wear his favorite sweater. Which, you know, when you wear a sweater in Florida, it's chilly.
Yeah. But I mean, believe it or not, Florida does get cold. Jess and I were down there in November 1, and we actually had to buy winter hats inside of Disney World. So
that's not a bad thing.
No,
because Atlanta
and this is when we were living in New York too. Yeah, we were living in New York at the time, and we're standing there. We're like,
okay. Jonathan Chong is saying that the hashtag Sippy Cup phrase is missing from this week. That's because I'm live here, and I'm not necessarily hassling Danny with a lot of sippy cups. There you go. I'm glad you're embracing that. And there's his sippy cup. And
Yes, we can't
Jonathan,
forget the sippy cup.
where does Jonathan live? Jonathan, where do you live? Because if you're saying it's -2 where you are, that is freaking cold. And let me
Like Nova
see
Scotia
what I
or
got
something.
here. I'm here in the East Bay, and where I am, it is currently almost 9:30 at night and 57 degrees. That's not bad. That is not bad at all.
If my phone works with me. In Atlanta right now, it is at 12:27 at night.
That's kind of chilly. But at least you're inside.
It's warmer than it has been. I'll tell you that. We
Okay.
had some nights below freezing recently, so this week it's very rare that we get things like that, but it does happen in Atlanta.
Yeah, that's one of those things that we really don't have to worry about here in Northern California. It rarely gets cold to the point where it's uncomfortable.
Right.
Southern California is even better. Southern California is probably some of the nicest weather in the entire country, other than Hawaii.
Right. Let's like,
Hawaii is
Atlanta
gorgeous.
gets a little bipolar sometimes where, I'll give you an example. On Halloween day, it started off where it was like 75 degrees in the morning. But that night, it was pouring rain and it was actually 32 degrees. It's like, what happened to the day? I'm standing at work and I was a jacket. I had to go to my car to get my
Oh my
jacket. Thank gosh I had it with me.
God.
Yeah.
Okay, Noah is saying where he is, it's 54 degrees. And Jonathan just let us know that he's actually in Toronto. So that's why when it's 0 there, it was -3 earlier in the day. That's probably a Celsius reading. So 32 degrees down to about 25 degrees. That's cold. That's
Yeah.
really cold.
Yeah.
That is like
I
bust
don't
your
miss
gloves
those.
out, throw in a park of cold.
I don't miss those temperature at all. Like New York City, we used to get that. We used to get the windshield of like -2 degrees. Um, it just it's like needles going through your skin.
Yeah, it does blow right through you.
Yeah,
There
it hurts.
in January, it really does get cool around here.
Yeah.
And I used to work in San Francisco about 20 years ago. I actually worked for Levi Strauss and Company at one point. And
Okay.
I would take BART, which is our subway system, under the bay,
Right.
get off and get upstairs and walk towards Levi Strauss Plaza, which is about halfway between the financial district of San Francisco and Fisherman's Wharf. So I would walk that direction every morning and I would pray for a bus to drive right by me to feel the warm exhaust on my face.
Yeah. Yeah, I
That
know that feeling.
when you're praying for smoke to be blown in your face, it's cold. But
Yeah,
that
definitely.
was a while ago. I don't have to deal with buses like that anymore. Not where I work
So
today.
I used to have to take the subway and you go down and the worst was when you had to wait for the elevated platform subway. Where I was in the city, I was outside of the New York City area, so I had to wait at the subway station on the elevated platforms. with all the weather hitting it. It's just, and the wind just is right through those stations. And once you got down into the subway system, you got off the train, you're like, all right, it's not bad. But once you're walking up the stairs, it hits you.
Ugh.
It's, yeah. And then down in New York City, it's just a wind tunnel. So it's a giant wind tunnel in New York City.
I can't. I just can't. So,
South.
how has it been this week for you without Jess there?
I feel like I'm in like an institution or something on solitary confinement, and I'm just going insane. It's just I'm over here talking to the dog, expecting answers back, and I can't wait till 12:30 to go get her. This way, as somebody else in this house. I mean, it's been all right. Other than that, I mean, I've been busy working, so work.
Okay. Yeah, I'm looking here at the chat, and Brian Eisenhard is telling us that he lives in Anaheim, California, which is Anaheim, where Disneyland is. There are sections of the town that are a little sketchy, but when you're inside Disneyland, you're in a bubble. You're fine. But he's also asking if BART stations, isn't the BART stations where the bags of poop were left regularly? Brian, I think the entire city of San Francisco, as world-class a destination as it is one big toilet. But that's just my opinion. Yeah.
But isn't that most major cities, though? I mean, really?
Yeah. You have issues where you go around someplace and it smells like pee or it smells like poop. And
you get a congregation of people, it's going to be issues, Yeah.
Yeah. And it's just like back in the 1700s when there were open sewers going right down the middle of the street with human waste floating down. It was just
which Disney World portrays. So,
yep, they portray that in Liberty Square. Fortunately, our sciences have advanced to where we have closed sewers now, which sometimes open up and they smell, but it's not an open river of poop going down the center of the street anymore.
Exactly. Exactly.
Okay, let's see. Rockin' Robin says that it's 12:33 where she is, which means she's on the East Coast.
She's over here with me. Yeah.
Let's see. Your local lake is where it is filtered. Oh, okay. Jonathan's talking about streams and water and
yeah.
Interesting chat tonight, people. Where's Mike? Where's Mike hassling us? I miss Mike.
I know, right? Like, seriously. So,
is there another stream that he's watching at the
top? I don't know if. Going.
Oh, was Dole Whip Dad going tonight?
Yeah, he was on. They were on with the Lynn Project and Steve's World talking about that whole thing going around for the new rules on YouTube.
Oh,
which will make is gearing towards children or whatever, and yeah, like honestly, so okay. I'm not even going to bother getting into it. Have you heard anything about it or no?
I haven't heard a peep about what you're referring to. All I know is that the type of content that Pepper Tree Villa strives to create is far from controversial, and we don't feature any type of children, on our videos. We don't necessarily focus on making videos for children, but we do make and create family-friendly material that's geared towards
Right.
everyone, where we watch what we say. We try not to offend people. We just want to have fun topics that we discuss and have a lot of fun with people.
Yeah, I do on ours, but they're saying that if it could possibly attract kids or anything can attract a child these days. So it's just I think they're going after people more for purposely trying to attract a child or stuff like that.
Yeah.
And so the
Well,
chatter, as there always is, there's chatter all over the internet about this, and I'm not changing what I'm doing. I'm pushing forward, and I'm not worrying. So, and that's what we're going to stick to.
yeah. Yeah. I like what we do. We're having a lot of fun.
Yeah.
We've got some fun streams planned for the next few weeks.
Do you?
Oh yeah, yeah. We've definitely got some ideas up our sleeves for the month, for the rest of November and pretty much all of December. It
That's
should be a lot of
awesome.
fun. Yeah.
Yeah, I got to figure out what I'm doing for my 12 days of Vlogmas, how we're actually going to do it, but I'm coming to YouTubers and asking you guys. I'm coming to you, obviously, too, Ben. Don't worry.
Okay.
Think of it as the 12 Vlogmas of Christmas, right?
Mhm.
Well, I'm basically going to take the 12 days of Christmas, and each day is going to be a different YouTuber, and we're going to make a video that's going to go 12 days long. Push this video out each day. So,
Okay. I'm
so
laughing here because Joe Smith is in the chat going, Ben, your tree's moving. Yes,
no,
Joe,
Ben,
I'm
no, Joe,
well
it's
aware
not.
of
I
that.
think it's just you. You got to adjust your screen.
See, what what I'm um, what I'm finding out now is that I can't bring myself to be on screen without a tree next to me anymore. At least for between now and Christmas.
Right.
I did vlogs from my bedroom, or not vlogs, but live streams this week with Pepper Tree Villa and Rob Fuzz and D&G
Right.
Explorers I was on with as well. And I had my tree with me, and I think it was Walt Mouse Talk that was wondering if I was sitting in front of a green screen because it looked a little fake. And in order to
Right.
prove that I wasn't, I reached back onto my tree, pulled an ornament off, and brought it up to the camera.
Yeah. Yeah, that's funny. I gotta say,
Jonathan
what
here
you
wants to
guys,
see
he wants to see what?
your black tree.
Yeah, well, I was under strict orders not to touch any Christmas stuff until she got back from New York. So,
That's cool. Okay, so what were
yeah,
you going to
yeah.
say?
Um, I forget.
It's about the
It'll come
tree.
back to me. I'll. It'll come back to me. I have no idea.
Okay. Okay.
Jonathan always he's bugging me. Everybody wants to see the black tree, but you'll see it. You all
All
will
I
see
have is
it.
a black wreath coming up.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah,
That's cool.
the black wreath, it's a Hallmark wreath that was designed specifically to showcase the 7 Star Wars ornaments that talk to each other.
Oh, that's awesome. Those are so hard to find too.
Well, they've had they released 3 of them back in 2017. The next 2 were released in
Mm-hmm.
2018. And now that the entire collection is out, fans are like going to the stores and buying them up. And
Even in 2017,
fortunately,
when it first came out, I couldn't find those things anywhere.
I was fortunate enough to have some foresight on that, and I actually placed orders for them prior to the release. So once they did get delivered to the store that I go to, they had set them aside for me, and I was able to build my
Oh,
collection
that
that
was
way.
nice.
I didn't have to worry at all.
That was nice.
Now,
I don't have that
this tree,
luxury with an inn.
yeah, this tree will be featured in at least a couple of videos coming up on Pepper Tree Villa.
Oh, I would imagine that because it's just such a nice tree. So,
Yeah, it is our glass and crystal tree, and it does have, I want to say, at least 25 to 30 actual crystal ornaments on the tree. The rest is
like
glass and
Swarovski
silver,
crystal,
and
or
there's Swarovski. There's some Waterford on here, and then some Erebus brothers from Disney parks.
okay.
Hey, look, Charlie just came in. Hi, Charlie. How you doing?
Hey guys, what's going on? You just got back from a poker tournament. I hope you came out ahead on that.
Oh my, it's okay. Joe Smith is saying, Ben, your tree is massively winking too. It's freaking me out here.
Saying Danny green screen, no Christmas stuff, just Christmas stuff touched. That is funny. Danny's not that talented for a green screen though. Yeah, it's all you see behind me. Probably is just a green screen, nothing else on it. But
Okay, something happened on my screen where I just lost all the chat. So I'm going to actually go onto YouTube and try and see what I can find here.
okay.
Make sure that I'm not losing track of any type of messages that, that our fans are trying to ask us.
Yeah. So Ben, let me ask you: Has any of the radio stations in your area switched over to Christmas music yet?
I wouldn't know. Um, I'm not driving much these days. My job, I'm fortunate enough where I get to live and work in the same city, and that's the first time that's happened in my entire life.
Right.
But I live in my house. I live with my sister and my brother-in-law, and my sister and I work about 1 to 2 miles away from each other in Oakland. Now,
Okay.
she is a secretary for the school system, and I have a job in an office that is, like I said, about 1 or 2 miles from her. My job hours are 8 to 4:30. Her job
Oh
hours
wow.
are 8 to 4.
Right.
She'll drop me off about a half an hour before my job starts. I will get a morning walk in, go through my neighborhood, get back to my office,
Yeah.
and I'll start
Yep.
right at 8 o'clock. And being that I'm off at 4:30, she finishes at 4. She has enough time to get down the hill, find a parking place, and wait for me to come out. And then we're home before 5 o'clock.
That's great. I
It's
wish I could do that.
so I don't have to pay for parking. My car sits in the driveway all week. I only take it out on the weekends. So as far as trying to figure out which radio stations have rolled over to Christmas music, probably one or two of them have, but I'm a subscriber to Sirius XM. So Christmas music has
So you
been
get it all
playing
year
on.
round.
Well, if you do it through the app, you get it all the year round. But I think it was the day after Halloween that the channels that I like kicked into play. So I've been
I
happy with
gotcha.
that, and I've got an extensive Christmas collection on my phone.
Right.
I could probably just it ranges from really really good to really really tacky, and I could probably just stick it on shuffle and listen to music for like 2.5 to 3 days without a repeat.
Ben,
I've
I don't
got a
even want to
lot
hear
of
about tacky. I don't want to hear about tacky because I have a hippopotamus that sings the song.
mm-mm,
You know how many
mm-mm.
people have never heard "I Want a Hippopotamus for Christmas"?
Uh, Not nearly enough.
Exactly.
Not the biggest fan of that song.
Really? I was singing it one day, and Jess is like, "What are you singing? What are you making up?" I'm like, "I'm not making this song up. It's a real song." She's like, "You are lying." I pulled it up on YouTube and I played. She was like, "You have to be kidding me." She's like, "All my life, I've never heard this song." I was like, "Yeah, they
Good
play
night,
it on."
Joe.
Good night, Joe.
Oh, see, Charlie finds that song annoying too.
It's
I
annoying,
agree.
but it's an see, but
Oh,
that's the
but then
thing
he says
here in Atlanta, they don't have radio stations like that that switch to Christmas. Well,
they
I have
don't.
to rely on my iHeartRadio. No,
Oh
no.
man.
They, yeah, they have, the radio stations, some will play a normal song and then a Christmas song once an hour type of deal. But I have to rely on my iHeartRadio to get a radio station that I know plays the good Christmas music to listen to down here in Atlanta.
Okay, now what do you consider good Christmas music?
It has to be catchy and like, not the slow Christmas music, like more of like the poppy and like the Rudolphs and stuff.
Okay, that's fair.
Jess
See,
likes the Dean Martins and Frank Sinatra,
yeah, yep.
like the
I am a
classical
fan of
stuff.
classic Christmas music. And
Yeah,
if it wasn't for the fact that everything is copyrighted and you get dinged on YouTube for having any type of music like that, I would be coming up with a lot of video content revolving around all my favorite Christmas music. But short
yeah,
of writing my own stuff or arranging old stuff that's public domain, I have to rely on what I can find that is acceptable on the YouTube algorithms.
exactly, exactly, and so,
Yeah, it is.
but it's okay
But
though.
yeah, I find it challenging. Uh, my approach to doing Christmas videos for this year uh, will become quite apparent once you see some of the stuff that I start editing.
Right.
But I
So
definitely have an angle in mind.
we have a few things that we're looking to do for. I mean,
Well,
obviously we have Six Flags. They do holiday lights in the park.
yeah.
Uh, we have the Botanical Gardens does lights.
Oh, that's
Um,
cool.
yeah, downtown Atlanta they have displays every. So we're gonna hit a bunch of that stuff up. So
We've
I'm
got
still
we've got the Oakland Zoo that does a show called Zoo Lights, where you can just walk
okay.
around the zoo at night, and it's
Right.
sponsored by one of the local radio stations and a bunch of other businesses that are Bay Area centric. And
Okay.
I'll I'll probably be going to that at one point this season. I hadn't really even thought about capturing it for one of my vlog entries, but who knows? I may do that.
That would be a really
Well, there are a couple of things here in Oakland that that I could probably focus on that are
Hmm.
Christmas light related. So
Yep.
just we'll have to see.
I mean, you're going to probably get a lot of Christmas lights from our channel this season because we like going out to look at them. So if I'm going out to look at them, why not just bring the camera with me? So, and then we have a lot of those drive-through displays in our area too.
Yeah,
Like the Atlanta Speedway does one and stuff like.
nice.
It should be interesting. It should be a busy
Yeah, we've got
season for us.
we've got a couple of streets here in the East Bay that focus on having everyone participate on Christmas light displays. So there's a lot of stuff that I could be doing
Yeah,
to kind of give you all a flavor of what the Bay Area is all about.
yeah, yeah. So I don't know. It'll be a lot of fun though.
Yeah. Now, how long have you been in Atlanta?
Uh, this is this would be the third Christmas that we're here.
Okay. And what brought you down there? Work?
We had an opportunity so we ran out of Dodge as quick as we could. So
Okay. Well, hey, if it worked for you, then good for you.
you know, I want to pay New York costs of living when I can get a lot more down here. Like
Yeah.
I'll give you
No,
an
I
example. Like a two-bedroom apartment up in New York in a gated community like we're in is like $5,000. Like I'm paying
yeah.
a lot less than that down here. A lot
That's not surprising.
less.
I used to do
Yeah,
a lot of analysis on apartment communities at a previous job, and I kept seeing companies start edging prices up and up and up on rents in California, and
yeah,
I don't know how some people survive here. If I didn't have a house where I had a set mortgage and I knew exactly how much I was going to be paying every single year, I would be on edge.
yeah,
I'm fortunate enough where I'm in a situation where I can actually make a decent living in California for someone who isn't
yeah,
in the high tech industry.
yeah, yeah. That's fortunately, when I'm working in, I'm able to go wherever I can. And wherever I go, I'm going to have a job. So I'm fortunate enough for that. But it's just the prices. The first of all, the salaries aren't what they used to be for what I do,
Yeah.
and to each and every time I was like, all right, we can't make it here. Let's go. Well, it's kind of pricey too. So I don't even want to discuss how much down here. We did all the moving on our own. Like one of the main things I didn't take into consideration was fuck.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
expensive to drive a long distance when you're moving your whole life.
And not only was the tolls that we had to pay triple the amount that a car would pay, and I didn't think of this. I'm like, oh
Well, they see that's the difference between East Coast driving and West Coast driving. Our highways are called freeways for a reason. They're free.
yeah.
The only
Well,
time
it's
you pay a
funny
toll
because
is when you're going over a bridge.
you have that wonderful Mason Dixon line here, this coast, right? And once you cross over that line, there's no tolls. Up in the northern states, like Maryland, Delaware, and up, there's tolls galore.
Well, they're encouraging people to drive or to use mass transit. They want people on the
Yep,
trains. They want people on subways. They want to be able to get people off the road because they're already congested enough as it is.
exactly. And I get it. And I really do get it. And
Yep.
you know what? I would take mass transit, even though if I had a car, we had a car, I would still take mass transit every day just because it's easier than trying to sit in
Well,
traffic.
again, I am fortunate enough where every day my sister and I carpool, and she's the one that drives because it's just the way it's set up. And
Right.
while I've driven for practically every previous job I've had that was in the East Bay for the last 12 years, this job does not require me to do that. And I'm actually loving it.
For that. Because I commute here, it should take me about 20 minutes to get to my job. Takes me probably about over an hour to get to work. It's the wonderful Atlanta traffic.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
and
Louis Black, the
what can you
comedian,
do?
did a whole thing on Atlanta traffic, and he was not kind to the city at all. He
I can imagine.
he refers to Marta as the subway to nowhere.
That's the thing. It goes nowhere. It doesn't come out of the city at all. It's just a subway within Atlanta.
What's the point of having a subway if it's not going to go out to the suburbs to get people to get out of their cars and bring them into the center, which was the original intent of
No
of mass transit?
clue. MARTA reminds me of the monorail at Disney World because it goes.
Jonathan's talking about local transit in Toronto, and I don't remember. I think when I was there, I was just like staying put somewhere, or I was in a rental car with someone when I was in Toronto. But it's a beautiful city, Toronto.
I've never been up there from the other side of Niagara Falls, but that's about it.
Yeah, I've never been to Niagara. In fact, for New York,
Is really
in
nice.
New York, I've only been to New York proper. I haven't been to upstate. I haven't seen any of the suburbs.
If you go to actually, it's suicidal, but the best time to go to Niagara Falls is in the wintertime, like February. Frozen over usually, and it looks
Yeah.
really nice. But it is cold beyond belief.
Ooh, Jonathan lives by the waterfront in Toronto. That's got to be beautiful.
That is awesome.
Wow.
Yeah, Jonathan knows exactly what I'm talking about with the cold. Yeah. Yep.
Oh, Lena, welcome to the
Hey,
stream. Good to have
PSP.
you.
Thanks for joining. You know, a while either. I wonder where the heck she actually is.
She hasn't texted you. Maybe she's sleeping.
No, I doubt it.
Is
I
she a
doubt
night
she's
owl?
sleeping. She said the bus. Yeah, she's like me. We're both night owls.
Ugh.
Very much
See,
so.
if I were on the East Coast and you invited me to join your stream, I would have said, "You've got to be freaking kidding me. I'm already in bed."
Like, I'll get off this stream and probably be up the rest of the night.
Hey, Mike's back. Hey, Mike, welcome back.
Oh, Mike. Back, Mike. Hey, Mike, at least it's a quiet chat for you tonight. Mike was being Mike was no, Mike was in other chats tonight. Oh, bad for him because I know how he gets the chat and everything, and it was just the chats were just going crazy. Just scroll like
Oh,
and headache, he said. So
yeah, I can
that's
imagine.
why Mike's not trying to break us tonight. He has a
Okay.
headache.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mike.
I see.
But I want you to know that I
Mhm.
rushed my whole shower routine in order to get on camera with you as quickly as possible. So much so to the point that I feel like my skin is cracking here. I didn't have a time to properly moisturize. So
Oh,
I'm like,
jeez. Unlike me, I'm in and out of the shower. None of that. I'm just like done. Let's go.
yeah, I've probably got about 15 to 20 years on you, though. It's necessary for me to moisturize. See, Charlie understands. I'm a big believer in body lotion and face moisturizer. That's why I look the way I do.
Well, Jess has actually, turned me on to the coconut oil for my hair, but that's
I have to introduce you to the wonders of number 7 at Target.
Oh man. I probably don't go to Target as much as we probably should. So this is what happens when Walmart's down the road.
Amy, Amy. This is the second week that Amy has said that I have to come over and challenge Mike on her trivia time. Amy, you're absolutely right. Uh, Let me know. Send me a direct message through Instagram or Twitter, and let me know when you go on, and I will make an effort to try and get there.
Amy, when do you do that? When do you do your trivia nights? It's fun.
It's on Saturday evenings. Mike, there was too much bickering on Walt's stream, and then trying to listen to chat on it was giving you a headache. I'm so sorry. That's terrible.
Yeah.
Mike,
Yeah.
I guarantee you, you won't get any type of bickering on here. Danny and I are getting
Oh,
along just fine.
exactly. There's never any bickering around here.
If
Only when
anything,
Mike's around.
I if anything, I've had the opportunity to do more talking here than I normally get to do on Pepper Tree Villa because I'm not trying to fight for time with Arnie and Doug.
Oh, yeah. We're no. That Doug. No, you're wrong.
Oh, Mike's enjoying our chat. And look, I'm breaking Danny up without even trying.
Exactly. Yes. Here.
Mike, in case you didn't capture that or whatever, Danny just put up a big hashtag sippy cup on the screen. So that's just
Yep.
for you and for Jonathan.
Exactly. Exactly. Good night. Oh man. Man, it's not hard to break Danny Rocket Robin said. Some nights it is.
That's not hard to break Danny.
I just let it happen because you all
Yeah,
and
yeah,
it's fun. And that's all
it
that
is
matters.
fun.
It's fun. You
Yeah.
know, and I give it back to Ben and his stream. Right?
Jonathan is saying that you don't have support. You don't have Jess for support right now.
It's all right. I have Leia, but she's across the room. So much support she is.
Okay, so Amy, you are usually doing it after most streams are done in the evening. So, and with some channels changing and taking time off, you may try and go in their time slot. Well, let us know. You did a Saturday afternoon after Myers and the Mouse went because no one else was on. Okay, that's fair.
Okay.
I do know a week from today, there is going to be the debut of a new show called Five Foolish Mortals. It's going to feature D&G Explorers, More Sunshine Please, Disney Ninja
Thanks,
Critters,
Mike.
and me representing Pepper Tree Villa. It's going to be the five of us doing like a once or twice a month kind of thing on Saturday afternoons.
Was that your Disney Plus movie club or something? Or
The first episode will be a movie club review kind of thing where we're discussing the adventures of
so
Ichabod and Mr. Toad.
that was a great movie.
Yeah. And considering that it came out of the era of animation between Dumbo and Cinderella, and they were just kind of limping along in the Disney studios at that
Mhm.
time because of World War II and labor union issues. It's a miracle that they were able to come out with a couple of gems like that.
You know, it's funny. Local radio station this week actually just had a conversation like this about right after Disney Plus got released about the um, disclaimer like for that they have for the
Yeah.
some things may be controversial, which I had no problem with, but apparently a lot of people. But like you're saying, let's
Well,
go back and look at the time frame that Disney was releasing some stuff in. So
that's just it. The Disney company has been around for 90 years. Political correctness was a thing of the 90s and has been carried over to the point where so many people are offended over so many things that were even commonplace on television in the 80s that
right,
people get bent out of shape for just the smallest little infraction anymore. And it's really
right,
difficult for an entertainment company that has a backlog of films for 80, 90, 100 years to release anything without someone saying something that's up on the screen saying, oh, well, that offends me. I can't watch that. And
right,
I'm going to make sure other people don't watch it as well, which
exactly.
is why the disclaimer is up there.
That's like they brought up the whole smoking on screen. Well,
Yeah.
it was a social thing to do. It was fine.
Yeah.
But, I mean, let's look at Disney cartoon movies. Like let's go back to Roger Rabbit. Well, the we're walking around smoking a cigarette.
Yeah.
The but you really didn't pay attention to this because to. But now it's if you ever had it that oh no, why is there a cartoon character smoking a cigarette? Well,
Well, like scenes in Pinocchio where some of the characters are smoking cigars.
exactly. Exactly. So
Okay,
it's
Mike says he won trivia today, but barely, but he still won it. And you're right, Rock. You're right, Rock and Robin. It is different times. We are in
it is
different times
different
now.
time. Honestly, how I've been putting it to people is we live in a softer time where people are just not made the same and they're just soft.
Yeah. Hi,
Like
Blue
you
Nose.
walk, hey blue nose, people just were looking. They're looking for that one thing that in your art or your TV show or your movie or whatever. I'll find you on.
Yeah.
Like just sit, but yet you watch the whole thing. You paid to go see it, this and that. But oh, I didn't like it. Well, did you walk fun? No. Obviously, you liked it.
Oh, Lena is saying that there are disclaimers before Looney Tunes as well now. But
Really?
I don't remember seeing any disclaimers before a Looney Tunes cartoon. But
I don't
most of the Looney
either.
Tunes cartoons that I have anymore, I have from DVD collections that were released about 15 years ago.
And I'm thinking because Six Flags plays Looney Tunes cartoons within the park too on the queue line.
Yep.
And I've seen some pretty old Looney Tunes cartoons on those TVs in the queues.
Sure.
So I don't know. I haven't
I,
seen any
I
of that.
just find it interesting. Well, I understand where they're coming from on all the disclaimers, and they're just covering up. But the one thing that they're not going to do is release Song of the South. And
Which I think is a mistake on their end.
I
Should
don't,
release that.
you know, I could see both sides. It's a mistake because it really is something that was made at a different time in a different era. But at the same time, if they were to release it, and if there were enough people that were to raise a stink about the content in the film and the depiction of African Americans in the film, then I could see where Disney would have great issue with some of their viewing audience raising
Right.
concerns about the way the film was filmed.
Well,
And
that's what I'll tell you right now is here in Atlanta, we have the actual house where the Song of the South was written, like the actual story of it before Disney took it and made it into the movie.
mhm,
And people in this area enjoy it. Um, not not anybody that you would think would enjoy it. You're like they look at it like it's stories. African Americans have their own folklore, and stuff, and
yeah,
like, okay, well, for the time period it makes sense. People just want something to fight on, and that's
yeah,
back down to is here what Rocket
yeah.
Robin said is I
You're caught in
can
certain
definitely,
times. Yeah, I agree.
yep, agree 100%.
We are we're in an era where the smallest little thing that is said by someone can be taken out of context, and then
Yep,
that one little soundbite is the only thing that people focus on, and it ruins people's careers because of one, possibly 2 or 3 second soundbite that again
yep,
was taken out of context. And with the
exactly.
ability to be able to edit videos and audio tracks or whatever together, who knows if anyone is being misrepresented by something that someone had created but didn't exist. You run those chances as well. Let's see. They had a statue in Pittsburgh of Stephen Foster, and groups made them remove it. It had Stephen playing a banjo and African Americans sitting around him. Okay,
Yeah,
that's again, it's people who are revisionists that are trying to suppress actual history and dismiss things that happened at that time and not wanting to acknowledge that it was the way it was, and us having to live in a revisionist society, turning our backs on what was, and then trying to figure out why we are the way we are without having evidence of the past that we learned from in order to get where we are.
yep, exactly. Exactly.
Mike is saying, look at the whole thing with Billy Bush, which ended his NBC career.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah.
I fully support why Disney didn't put it on there. I do. I mean, there's ways to get the if you wanted it. Obviously, you guys are a prime example of that. You guys have a copy of it, so you know
Well,
they are
ours is
out
on
there.
Laserdisc. Our copy's on Laserdisc with Japanese subtitles.
It's all right. You can still find laser discs.
Yeah, but they're few and far between, and when you do find one, you usually have to pay through the nose of it because it's old technology. The one Laserdisc player that we had a few years ago, we actually sold along with a lot of our Laserdiscs that we had in the collection.
Right.
Fortunately, the Laserdisc collection that we had wasn't that large, but most of our content is now in the form of DVDs and Blu-rays. And fortunately, DVDs can be played on Blu-ray players.
Right.
If the Blu-ray had been developed by Apple, the DVD would have been phased out years ago in favor of
Oh yeah.
only Blu-rays.
Yep.
Fortunately,
100%.
Apple wasn't the one that developed the Blu-ray.
Yep. That's right. I still have my VCR DVD combo, so it's okay.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Wow.
And one of my TVs actually has a built-in DVD player to it still. So
Now, you see, back in the day when VHS gave way to DVDs and records gave way, tapes, and then to blue compact discs, I kind of had the feeling that there was going to be something that went digital
in
with
between.
content. I didn't know that it would go towards streaming. I had a feeling that it
Right.
would become smaller, like in the form of a chip that people would buy that would be in little
Right.
boxes that you would insert
Yep.
into something. But the whole streaming thing makes much more sense.
Let somebody else store it, not eat up your memory.
Yeah, absolutely.
It really does.
Yeah.
I mean, we also live in a time where we're supposed to have flying cars, according to the Jetsons.
Well, the Jetsons, to be fair, is like in
Technically,
the 23rd century.
yeah, yeah,
But they did
but
predict that newspapers would be on screens.
yes, which they are, you know,
But
and have
we
screens
don't.
where you can touch and
Yep. And they did say they did have a lot of push button things that have also become a reality.
exactly.
But the one thing that has not become a reality was the individual elevator vacuum tubes that would take you up into your apartment.
That yes, that would be great.
That would
That
be
would have been
awesome.
great. Mm-hmm. It would have.
Oh, Mike sent a message directly to me saying, "When you see your brother, give him a big hug for me, and he knows that Arnie and Doug are going through a hard time today," and that is the truth.
Exactly. Mike, that was well
There was,
said.
yeah, thank you, Mike. I appreciate that. Uh, we did lose the voice that we were trying to develop as our on-screen voice that would introduce videos for us, and we're going to miss our friend dearly. The
Yeah. That's always rough.
The introduction graphics that we use for Pepper Tree Villa when it plays our theme song, the animated pepper tree leaf that falls into place.
Yep.
That was developed by our friend who passed away. And he's going to be sorely missed. He was a gentle spirit, always found good in people, always wanted to make the place wherever he was a better place just by being a better person and encouraging that type of behavior in others. There was a quote in a news story that was done on his behalf that one of the people said Charlie would take it upon himself to do even just a little bit of good every day. And he always saw that as making a difference. And can you imagine what the world would be if everyone had that same attitude? It would be such a much more pleasant place to be.
Exactly.
I strive for that myself every day. I try and bring a little bit of happiness to wherever I am. And the fact that Charlie had such an impact on the people around him by doing just that did my heart good. And he will be missed so much. But everyone has said, thank you so much, everyone. We really appreciate your concern. It's been a very difficult week for us to get through, but we will continue. I don't think Charlie would have wanted us to put anything on halt just because he's not with us anymore. He was actually encouraging us. He was in the television industry for a long time, and the content that he saw our channel putting out, he said that it was high caliber. And when he would say that, I would take it at its worth. I would take his word at what it was. Charlie would not kid around with us. And if he said we were going in the right direction with what we're doing, we're going to continue doing what we're doing because he believed in us and he believed that what we were doing was the right thing. And he was that encouraging spirit that I will continue to live with. And anytime I think of him, I get a smile on my face because he had that effect on me.
And that's the best thing to live with right there is because of that.
People who are brought into our lives, we never know why they are there. We don't know how long they're going to be there. But if you get along with someone, treasure that time.
Exactly.
Because you just don't know when it's going to be over. That's all I have to say about that. We can go on to another subject.
Yeah, that's so. What do you want to bring up? Anything you guys got going on?
Well, let's see. Like I said,
PTV always has some hidden going on that they can't top secret, like Fort Knox.
Tomorrow we are going to be live streaming our final push to try and get as much finished prior to Thanksgiving as possible. We want to try and get the family room in place. We already have the fireplace done. The alcove above the television, which is right in front of me, is done. It's the Main Street Village from Disneyland. We did a video about it last year. We'll probably do another follow-up video this year. And we've got the 2 9-foot trees to decorate in this room as well. And our goal is to have those done before I go home tomorrow in the afternoon. So we'll have to get started on that immediately in the morning.
The village that little Christmas village that you guys have, is that actually um pieces or
Well, they're reproductions of every Main Street building at Disneyland.
okay. Okay.
And it's everything from the train station to the castle. The only thing missing, actually, there are two things missing. There's no Plaza Inn, which is the fancy restaurant up on the right as you're entering the hub. There's no Jolly
Okay.
Holiday Bakery on the left. And there is also, there's no hub, no statue of Walt and Mickey.
Yet.
And the other thing that's missing is the corn dog, the red corn dog cart, which if you haven't had a corn dog from this truck at the end of Main Street, you haven't lived. It's worth every bit of heartburn it produces.
Well, I do enjoy my fair food, so it's okay. So it's all right.
Oh, Lena says the buildings are amazing. I guess the buildings were shown on a live stream earlier in the week when Arnie and Doug were putting it together. And
I think,
I wasn't able to
last weekend they were.
Yeah, it was on Monday. They had Veterans Day off. I had to work.
Yeah, I did too. Don't feel bad.
Yeah, I was.
But
I was.
I
my family
was asking. Yeah, I was asking because I actually recently saw a whole Disney Christmas Village like set that they had. I forget where it was like different Disney inspired, not like from the parks, but it was more from the movies and stuff like Snow White, that.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
That would be cool.
I have to remember where I remember. I'll let you guys know. But it was pretty cool because then they had little figurines and stuff that went with it. And
okay, could you put a Blue Noses comment there on that just came up?
I sure can. I sure can.
Like the Christmas Village buildings people set up each year. Does Disney have any village-sized buildings of Disneyland or Disney World? I have your answer, Blue Nose. Several years ago, Department 56 put out a very small series of actual Disney buildings. One building was the firehouse from Main Street at Disneyland. And then there was also the Castle Christmas shop at the Magic Kingdom, as well as the now Christmas shop at Liberty Square. So it's just a few number of buildings that were released in that collection, and it was those were actual authorized Department 56 pieces. Arnie has that collection and has used them in the past, but for the past few years, he and Doug have become enthralled with my collection of Main Street buildings. And the Main Street buildings came about in the late 80s. And it's a collection that you could purchase at Sears, of all places. They didn't sell this collection at the parks, but it was a collection developed to be sold at Sears. And I didn't buy it at Sears, but back in the mid 90s, I acquired the castle from that collection. And the guy who gave it to me was a friend of mine at the time. I haven't spoken to him in over 20 years, but fortunately I got a castle out of it. But the rest of the collection, which is every building from Main Street at Disneyland, I acquired at an antique store in Southern California. Arnie and Doug happened to be there, and they found the collection there, They sent me some pictures that I went, yes, that is what I've been looking for a long time. Grab everything you can. I will pay you for it. And ever since then, the collection stays here at Arnie's place because they have the place to be able to display it.
It's amazing. Sears used to have everything, though.
Yeah, they did.
Especially through their catalog.
Yeah.
But that's just showing my...
Yeah. It is 10:30 here. It's 1:30 on the East Coast. And
yes, it is.
I'm kind of fading here.
I am too. But I appreciate you coming on for this hangout.
I loved being here. Mike says he believes this is Arnie setting up the Christmas Village. He posted a link to a video that was done earlier. And Rockin' Robin says her Sears closed. I am so sorry about that, Rockin' Robin.
Everybody's Sears is basically closed.
No, the one at the shopping center where I went to tonight, has been open there since the 60s, and it remains open.
I think the ones out by you guys are staying open a lot longer. The ones over here on our coast are down basically. They're no more. They have everything moved into Kmart's now, or to Lowe's for the tools and stuff. Went to Lowe's, and everything else went to Kmart.
Yeah.
So I mean,
but anyway, Danny, it has been a pleasure being with you tonight.
Yep, guys in chat, I appreciate you guys being here tonight too. We thank you so much. But be here. It's late. It's later for me than it is for Ben. So, and
but I'm
I gotta
ready
go
for bed.
Up on Jet. So. Exactly. So, guys, thank you. Have a good night. Thanks for coming in.
Just one last look at the tree.
One last look at that.
Yeah,
you guys do an amazing job over there at this. You really do.
We try. We try.
If that's trying, I want to see what really trying is.
Well, thank you everyone for joining us.
Good night,
it
guys.
was nice hanging out.
Bye.
All right. Good night, everyone.